Hey everybody, it's John Petrosky checking in for the first time in a long time. But we have a very exciting new scenario that today is about to release, I believe any day now, uh, which is his long awaited The Elder Scrolls, the Stormcloak Rebellion scenario. And the thing about this scenario is it's so expansive. Really pushes the limits of what Civ 2 can do, because today really uses Lua to its fullest potential to turn Civilization 2 basically into an Elder Scrolls game. Um, one of the interesting things, I mean, I've been kind of designing scenarios in Lua for a few years now, but I'm really looking at myself, or I'd call myself more a scenario designer and not really a coder. I've always teamed up with a coder, like Professor Garfield or Nighttime or Grishnak, to assist me with building scenarios. So, while I could have vision and kind of explain it to them what I wanted to do, I always had to rely on somebody else. And that's fine. They're great partners. Nothing against that at all. But it is very interesting to see a couple new designers today, and well, not really new, but Pablo Stuca coming up and really getting involved in building scenarios of their own, because not only are they designers, but they're also coders. They really understand what they're doing and can do some pretty impressive stuff. With minimal assistance, they're just kind of bouncing ideas off, the others. So this scenario is one I've really been looking forward to. I think it's very cool. It's Skyrim is a game that I won't pretend to have any idea what the lore is or anything like that, but I know I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours playing it over the years, and have probably bought it, three, four, five, however many times they've updated it for different systems. So I've been looking forward to this one for a long time. Um, I don't want to spoil anything for you, so I really haven't done anything here except just move it a few turns. But as you can see, I mean, it's just a wonderful, wonderful world that is very, very, very accurate to what you would expect from the game and what you would see. I don't want to cheat and show you the map, because so much of this is exploring and having fun and kind of discovering stuff, especially if you're not used to these games. This is really, I mean, it's a 500 megabyte monster of a scenario that does everything it can to really bring you into this world. You can play as the Imperials. You can play, I believe, as the Forsworn. Uh, this is bad. I don't even know exactly their name. I think it's the Thalmor Elves. You'd think, hey, how many times have you bought this game? But or as the Stormcloaks that have their rebellion. I think the Imperials look a lot like Romans. Here's some of them. So I tend to play as them just because, got a thing for the Romans. Uh, but it's just a cool scenario. I played an earlier version. Gosh, it might have been a year or so ago at this point. And one of the really interesting things from a gameplay perspective then, I mean, and he didn't even have the quests in or anything, but just was how scattered your cities are, how scattered your forces are. So it's not like a typical, hey, you've got this big blob and you need to take over that blob. You have little tiny pockets, and you really need to figure out where to concentrate on, where to defend, and where to try to push off from, which is neat. Other things that are really neat in this scenario now that I'm kind of enjoying and exploring, but don't want to ruin for you, are the different quests. If I can find the button. I'll just show you one. This is one that pops up very early that you don't have to kind of stumble upon. But if you press 4, you can bring up whatever your current quests are. And basically, there's this thing called the Jagged Crown that you're going to want to explore the ruins and try to retrieve. And so you need to go find a Nordic tomb of Corvinjund, which is around here somewhere. And then what you would do is essentially go into it. You might see all these little writings on here, like Shriekwind Bastion or Embershard Mine, or over here, Stony Creek Cave. And this is a multi-map scenario, okay? And I'm just going to show you real quick a little bit of the underground, like literally just that. But you can see that when you go under, there's going to be this entire world that you can explore. All of the little white things right here, they all connect down there. Some of them connect to each other. Some of them are kind of dead ends. Many of them have quests associated with them. Many of them have little goodies that you can get. Very, very, very interesting game. I think that this is the type of scenario. It almost has like the mysterious, or what was it, the Wonderful World of Jules Verne. Has those kind of vibes, if you ask me, because it's just one of those things where there's just so much to find. It's really like Jules Verne on steroids here, when you look at all the different things that can happen. Um, it's my understanding, and I haven't gotten there yet with my playthrough, that there are certain heroes who can appear. Different people making cameos, different journeymen that can assist you. There's different types of ranged units. So, I mean, those have been very popular with Lua. From the readme, it seems that Dadais is kind of, he's almost doing a hybrid of kind of the Gallic Wars traditional, you know, ranged attack. You press a button with a mage or something and it fires. And then also taking a cue from Nighttime in his medieval Millennium with some of the siege works, making sure that they're fortified within range, and if they're fortified, then they'll fire. So it's a cool little balance, I think. It's a scenario where at the end of the day, you are trying to capture territory. You are trying, as the Imperials, basically to reunify this vast region that essentially has descended into civil war and rebellion. The Imperials are part of an empire that I believe is to the south. And this is kind of a rogue province that they're trying to keep they're trying to keep under their control and really be able to handle the elves and whatnot and everything else. So it's tough because I don't want to ruin anything for you, and so I don't want to show you everything. But they have different things here. He has this snow bear. There's different monsters like these skeletons running around. You've got these ruins. You have different robbers. You have different civs. It's almost like a four-way fight, five-way really, if you think about the barbarians too. And there might be some other surprises that have wings and breathe fire and are scary from the actual series. So it's about 500 megabytes. Pretty much everything that could be changed in this thing has been changed. Civilopedia, just very well done. Descriptions on all of these different units to give you an idea of what everything should do. We can just take a look at that and see what we have. Just tons of them. They're just all over the place, right? There's that scary thing we were talking about, and there's actually a few different types. You can go descriptions. It's cool. I think it's very cool indeed, actually. I am super excited to really dig into this one. I think this is one that is going to be hard to put down, really, when I can finally get some time to really tie into it more, aside from just making, a quick little video on it. But this is long in the making. Extensive Lua coding behind this. Different seasons, different quests, different plot lines, different, things like upgrading units. Just really, oh man, you just need to check it out. If you haven't been to Civ 2, if you haven't seen the Test of Time patch project by the Nameless One, or come to play any of these wonderful Lua scenarios that are coming out. I mean, if you know you have fond memories of Mr. Temba and all the fantasy worlds, or Kurt and his Bitterfrost series and everything else. I mean, this can show you what Lua can do to a fantasy scenario, and it's really cool. And if you loved the Elder Scrolls or Skyrim, I think you're going to enjoy this too. I need to play with it a little bit to see if it would be possible as a multiplayer game or not. I'm not sure. But boy, would that be cool if you could have Stormcloaks versus the Imperials. But I'd have to check and see. No promises that could occur. But even if it is just a single player game, it's definitely the kind of single player game that I think you could just get lost in for weeks. So it's by today. It's the Elder Scrolls. I believe he'll be releasing it soon. And there's a whole development thread in the Scenario League forums, I believe. Can't remember if he put it there or if it's just in Civ Fanatics scenario creation. But either or, uh, great, very, very promising, very, very large, and very, very fun. Honestly, when I was playing an earlier version, I had a good deal of fun making an amphibious invasion all the way from my capital over to try to take on Dawnstar and kind of try to move towards Winterhold and eventually Windhelm, which is the capital for the Stormcloaks. So very cool stuff. Go check it out if you haven't already, and leave a comment or come to the Scenario League and sing today's praises so we can encourage our designers to keep designing great scenarios like this for you all. Okay? Well, thanks everybody, and I'll catch you later.